in the English Premier League, and of course the international stories are where you did see United in the Manchester derby did lose or go down to, that is, Manchester City, and Manchester was painted blue by, that is, Erling Braut Haaland and Phil Foden. Good afternoon, Susie.
Good afternoon, Owen. A brilliant weekend it was, with a lot of actions both locally, nationally and internationally. Of course, that is why we're here. We'll bring you everything that happened. For those of you out there that missed out, I should say you're most welcome. Keep it tuned and don't touch anything. We are here. 3 pundits, the most dangerous in the house, 2 to 3.
All right, a very interesting one. You would see also a very, probably a docile game, I should say, in some of the English Premier League games, but of course in the La Liga you did also see a very big one, where of course the team of Real Madrid was held to a draw, and no one believed that, but of course that was what happened at Benson, that side, and the Italian Serie A. I did see a lot from that is Napoli.
Yeah, exactly. Good afternoon to you, Wenezaga. Good afternoon, Susie. Starting from where actually you left, Valencia, more especially Mestalla, has always been a difficult hunting ground for the team of Los Blancos. And in Italian Serie A, the team Inter Milan seems to be running away with the goal, because Juventus of late is losing games for fun, and also in the French League 1, Paris Saint-Germain cannot score goals in the absence of Kylian Mbappe. And in German Bundesliga, the team Bayer Leverkusen has already gone 10 points ahead of the Bavarians. And the local here in the school ball games, the tentative date is 15th. We will also be doing discussion about that. Arua District of Division League came to climax, and we are waiting for the other games to see who will emerge as the overall champions, because the 2 zones, the business got done over the weekend, both in Western Zone and also in Eastern Zone. And Stanbic Uganda Cup, more space around the 16 also bouncing back. We have actually been discussing about UEFA Champions League. Tomorrow is also bouncing back, and we can also confirm to you African Champions League, called the CAF Champions League. It has also reached to the knockout stages, that's quarterfinals, plus the other stories. As Susie had said, the attacking force, the 3 amigos, all in the studios of Western Television.
All right, now of course, interestingly, let's get back to where we are always the best at, and the local sports is one big thing that we like talking about. If you look at what exactly is happening, the inter school ball games are returning or resuming, just like said, on 15th, and a lot is expected from different schools. One of the biggest is, I want us to talk about the secondary schools that are trying so much to do this time around. Who would you see maybe in the list? Because I saw a couple of them in the list that was, of course, shown out or brought out from the organizers of the school teams right there. But all in all, in West Nile, Ombachi is back in action. What are we expecting? Those are some of the big things. Did they miss? How much did you miss Ombachi in this game?
Ombachi,
for you, Mr.
literally, Ombachi, by the way, was missed only in the action-wise, but when it came to morale boosting, trust me, they were there full-time, much as they didn't take part in any of the games. And there is one thing I would like to say out there to clear the airwaves, whereby a lot of people thought, by the way, that Ombachi was banned, and that they were suspended because of maybe the Hooliganism Act and all that. But one thing I would like us to understand out there is that Ombachi was not banned. They are not suspended by the sports committee of Arua City. Yes. It's the OBs that came through and just decided that the boys take a rest from there is football and all other sporting activities, simply because of one terrible incident that happened 2 years ago, where they had gone in for a friendly in Koboko, and one student sadly lost their lives. The boy was in senior form. He all continued to rest in peace. This brought up the OBs together, and they said, no, from this trauma, we need to take a break as a school. So that is why Ombachi has not been participating in any of the sporting activities within Arua City. But then, this year they bounced back. But much as they were not taking part, just like I said, in the morale boosting bit of it, they were full-time. But the actions, that is where they were not there. And I should say they're doing trainings, by the way, and Ombachi is one key school that we should watch out for. We only pray that they embrace peace at all times in all the games.
Okay, now that's one big thing that you should be talking about. Yes, they took a very good rest, I should say. They still went back. If you look at the performance this time, it showed that really the concentration level was enough, and they really had to perform. You see, they're one of the best schools that have given fast grades in that is their school. They concluded, of course, results that came out right there. But of course, if you look at performance-wise, I would say yes, that is one thing that gave them enough time to concentrate on their books. But of course, also those days, even with the sporting and the academics will still continue. I think that's one thing. Them coming back, we expecting total discipline. I remember before even them getting this rest, they were already banned also before. Yeah, they were banned for I think 2 years.
Yeah, 2 years.
They couldn't participate. It was their time to come again into the participation. Such an incident happens. Now let's wait for this time. I think this time they should be disciplined because they have learned a lot from different aspects. One time, Benson, you took a time and went and covered the story from Dennis Ombachi, and ahead of this, how prepared is the team? How did the sports tutor maybe say about the game?
Yeah, the school is ready. The school is ready for the inter-school ball games. I remember the time they were actually knocked out of the competition was way back in 2022. In fact, when they were stopped from participating, it was in 2022 when they were pitted in the same group with schools like Cornerstone, Naja, Tarantino. That was when we saw Ombachi not participating in inter-school ball games. The whole of 2022, the whole of 2023. Now they are coming back. I think they are coming back with a lot of phlegm, and they are coming to add spice into the ball games, because in every district, in every sub-region, there has to be either 1 or 2, 3 schools that always add spice into the competition. Like you go to Koboko, you talk about teams like Luanga, you come to Alu region, schools like Nampa is there, you talk about Terwe City. I know most of the people will be talking about schools like Asesco, Apesco, you mentioned Ombachi themselves, Mbarasine Secondary School. Just like you go to Arua district, you also mentioned Nile Fire and the Okufura. So they are coming back, like I said, with a lot of spice into the competition. I think the 2 years they have been absent in the competition, I think that one, of course, has affected the morale, has affected the spice in the competition, and we can confirm to you the tentative date for it to kickstart is 15th of this particular month, and according to the report, it will run for 1 week and some days. That means probably it may end on the 27th of this particular month. The chairperson for the inter-school ball game is called Angwa Bernard. Anytime from tomorrow, we'll be hosting him here at Western Television. We'll be discussing about it, and some of the schools actually have started playing friendlies amidst themselves, more especially in Bara. It was only when Omparaka was actually playing the team the boys on the other side. Mbarasine Secondary School was doing it with the Alibasine Secondary School. They managed to win the game by 3 goals to 1. Not only the Mbara boys that have started, not Mbara boys that the Mbarasine Secondary School that have started the training, and also the friendlies. Other schools have also started, and we're waiting to see how it will go and how it will come to an end. Just highlights to you the schools that went to the finals. It was in Mbarasine Secondary School with the school Areses, and we saw Areses beating Mbarenda Penas with to win the gong, and also in netball it was a Republic up against Mune, and the Republic beating Mune in the finals. Initially it was said that for the Department of Netball it will be taking place in second term, but recently they had to change their mind. That means all these things will be taking place in first term. We talk about football for girls, netball for boys, and also for girls, and at the same time football for boys. And to clear the doubt, according to the recent information we have also got from the chairperson, Angwa Bernard, next term, second term, will now be for schools that are performing very well in the inter-school ball games at the district level. If you could find, that means come next time you will be representing either your district or your region at the national level. That is the recent information we have got from the chairperson, and the 3 highlights we can give you as far as the preparation for inter-school ball games is concerned.
Okay, now it's one of the biggest one, and this, remember, for the secondary schools, it's under, that is the Uganda Secondary School Sports Association that is taking that. The people call it the USSSA. that of course is in there now. As I talk, from yesterday there was a capacity building training going on, and this was held at that is Yera High School. That means sports tutors, sports maybe referees, media. They were having that training that is ongoing right there to see that you get yourself probably into the knowledge of football, and of course into the knowledge of the games that are coming right there, which is I think one of the biggest things one should embrace, because it is so big that you need really to put it there before you get. So it shows the level of organization. We are going to see schools come here and there. We have seen different schools travel from Kampala. The other time it was brought in Arua. We saw very many schools that came here. Now this time around we want to know where probably it is going to be taking place. But all in all, I want to say that this gives us mileage and gives the schools what exactly they can put to make sure that they get themselves through with the games. Now this is one. But in the ladies category, you will also see that the teams are so superb. Susie, your opinion before this time around, I don't know whether you've taken the time to assess schools where you think it is going to be so competitive. Are we seeing a Diofin? Are we seeing, because these are the dominant sites every year and year, and they're always there. Logini girls, you talk about the Munjis and the rest.
For the netball bit of it, I think schools this time around were played foul on because of a miscommunication, just like Benson had said. Initially, the schools started training, but then they said no, netball will be pushed to there is a second term, that Benson just said, and then they relaxed, and somehow the schools also got back the information that no, but you people need to get to training in that the schools will get to do the competitions this very term. But I remember some time back we discussed this, saying that what if it's the same students that the school has involved in there is the games this term, about 2, 3, 4, and then when the students go to participate in national level, and it's the same students that the school also needs to use maybe in the inter-athletics and all that. So this competition was going to bring in some bit of a complication. So now that the information has also been re-echoed out that the schools are going to take part in netball the same time with the football, I believe that it's basically going to go down to the old traditional schools. Just like Owen had mentioned, it's a Rural Public, very competitive is that Rural Public. We've already seen them knock out all these other girls schools and girls teams to make it to the national championship board up there. Basically, to me, very competitively, we're going to see there is a Rural Public, we're going to see Barua SS is known in football. We're going to Rural Public, we're going to see Muni Girls, we're going to see St. Mary's Diofe, and then Logri Girls, to me, they have dropped in netball. These days, they perform so well in the ladies football. They were even champions, I think, last year. And for Logri Girls, netball was for those days in athletics, but this time around, netball, I think we are supposed to watch, there is Muni Girls, St. Mary's Idiofe, who are public. And then, by the way, there are new entrants that are coming. There is All Saints down in Ochiba here, our neighborhood, I should say, that are also coming through. There are a lot of schools, by the way, that are coming through this time. Even Vara SS shouldn't be written off when it comes to there is a netball. So basically, this time around, we're going to see a lot of competition, a lot of energy, a lot of intensity in all the schools, because every other person will want to come through and win. Our eyes and focus should really go to the schools that have been off, or the new entrants that are actually coming in to join in the competitions board. Okay, now that's one of the best I probably should be getting from Susie, because she's specialized there. Though we didn't see you play, but it's okay. Life goes on, and that's how we go. Anyway, let's move on from there. The regional league continued with immense pressure and a couple of games that went on. That is yesterday match results in front of you indicates that Moyo Town Council, of course, Moyo Town Council FHL lost to, that is Yumbe Heroes, by 3-2 in their own home. And then you did see also Team Tipsa, of course, against the team of Nyai Youngsters. That was another big one, a game that ended, of course, 3-1 in favor of Tipsa. You did also see the team of Barakala playing at Barakala City with Jumani Town Council, a game that ended 2-2.
And then you did see Koboko Rising Stars losing to the team of Total by 1-0, which of course made Total to go on top of the table. Then Odramachako, of course, 2-0 winners over Yumbe Hospital, and Araka Football Club with Kochi was a derby which ended 1-1 right there. Now that's how exactly the teams are played right there. Now let's look at what exactly comes from the team of the Yumbe Best side. It was a derby of course Kochi and Araka Football Club. Tight game it was. Araka scored first, Benson, and you did see Kochi coming to equalize later on. And now this showed that something in there, that Kochi still, I did tell you that they are saying we are going to push this up to the last moment. And that is what they are. And Araka is also trying to prove different people wrong, that this is what we can do and we can still push it there. What exactly did you see lacking in the game?
The best teams from the same DFL meeting between themselves and ending a draw is not something so bad, but it is bad for the team which needs the result most. I think you look at Araka together with the Cots, these are the best rivals, the biggest rivals from the because Araka is a traditional team. We talk about Coach Urban, a team that has been transformed by the finance they are having. And normally I've been saying that when your best chance comes, you should utilize it very well. Coach had the best chance last season to see that they lost to FIFA Big League. They had to spoil the chance. And teams like, you talk about teams like Odramachako Sendo, the last 2 seasons they have actually been like runners up. This season they want to do their best to see that they finish on top, maybe also meet the table toppers from the other zone, negative zone. Total, one of the new increase into the league, they also performed extremely very well. We talk about the BKCT, also one of the traditional giants from that side of Yumbe. They also want to prove people wrong that they can still compete with the other giants like Araka and Kotsi. In summary, I want to say Odramachako Sendo started very well. First phase was okay on their side. Now second phase has started. They started with a defeat. Not only against the team, also against the team which is chasing them closely. Total FC performing very well right now. If the likes of Kotsi, we talk about the likes of Araka, you mentioned Odramachako Sendo. If they are not serious, it may be Total this time finishing on top of the log. And the MTC FC that comes from Moyo, if they are not serious, this might be the time for them to get relegated alongside teams like Nya Youngsters, because I'm seeing Nya Youngsters going down, a team that comes from Koboko, and also over the weekend we saw them losing into the hands of their arch-rivals. That's Tipsa. Tips also started very well. Right now, nowhere to be seen. That's why I always continue to say, you better mess at the beginning rather than messing, getting things paid at the end. The way I will see this one takes me to my verdict of who will finish on top of the log, who may finish as the runners up. Because right now, what seems to be going down, 2 games played back-to-back consecutively, all draws, and Total is winning for fun. I want to be surprised if Odramachako Sendo matches the picked a defeat against Total. I will see this time finishing on top in 9 zone, followed by Total. I don't see Coach this time finishing on top.
Okay, now that's one big thing. Of course, Total leads the table with 28 points as I talk, followed by Araka with 27 points. Total has 12 goals. Araka is having around 16 goals to their name with 27 points, and 16 goals is what, of course, 15 is what Odramachako is having, but with still 27 points right there, and behind them is number 4, which is Tipsha, who are also trying so much with 25 points as Coach Urban at number 5, and that's how the top 5 stands right there. Susie, this contest is so hard, and you could be wondering what exactly will happen at the end of the season. So far 13 games played, but teams are really chasing each other.
By the way, the contest in the 9 zone to me is more stiff compared to the Nyagaki zone. If you look at some of the points accumulated in Nyagaki zone vis-a-vis the games played, you literally see that the points do not add up completely to the ones that the teams in 9 zone have. And this can propel someone to say that maybe the 9 zone teams are more passionate or they are more focused into crossing over from there is a regional league to there is the next level or the next tier of football in there is Uganda, I would say. But basically, if you look at the intensity of the games in Nile Zone in the table standings, you would get to see that every other team is literally fighting to see to it that they open up a points gap and at least move into the next. We are seeing Odramchaku fighting neck to neck. We are seeing we're seeing Coach equally fighting. We are seeing Araka fighting. We are seeing Total. But basically here it is Total and Odramchaku that now are strangling their necks together. So basically, this time around, I really don't want to say that maybe close up on a verdict that maybe Odramchaku will go or maybe Total will go and all that, simply because a day to the closure of this or on the same closing date of the games, you can literally see your opponent that has been below you crossing over by either points or something like that to there is the next levels and you remain in the league. Just like Besson had said, I want to agree that Kochi, no, I don't see them going through, but it's basically Total and there is Odramchaku.
Benson, what do you think is the problem with Pakwach Super Eagles? That's one thing that you should be talking about, because Pakwach Super Eagles, where they are, is so dangerous that they're in the relegation zone. And it shows you that if you look at Pakwach youngsters, they're doing more better than any other, because they're only 2 points shy, 2 points shy, the team of Paida. And Paida has played more games than that is Pakwach youngsters. Now that gives you a question of how exactly this team will perform, because if they play that 30th game, they will add on to 32 points still, just like Paida Black Angels, what they are holding right now, and that is one key thing. Now, if you look at the statistics and the template of the game that they keep performing every day, you would say, okay, maybe there's that possibility of Pakwachi youngsters maybe losing, but they're having a game. Who do you think they're having a game at hand with a team like Pajobi, a team like Nyahama, who are also down there in the relegation zone? Big aspects, big games to talk about. What do you think is the problem with the Pakwachi Super Eagles? Because they were one of the teams to talk about right now in the danger zone.
True, you talk about Pakwati Super Eagles. I think the battle has been between Pakwati Super Eagles and the team called Pakwati Youngsters to see who is the best from that way. And most of the people, they have actually been following and rallying behind this team called the Pakwati Super Eagles in terms of everything. I think it was only the performance the team Pakwati Youngsters had in the ongoing Stanley Uganda Cup, knocking out one of the best sides we have in the country, Wakiso Giants, in the round of 32. And people have been so much into the fellowship of Pakwati Youngsters. You talk about the teams that are playing in Nyagabi zone. In most cases, people talk about Roy City, Paida Black Angels, Paida United. Maybe you can talk about it in Nebisendro. And I think the worst result to me of late they had put was the defeat they had into the hands of the team of Alpha Rising Stars. First league encounter, they traveled here in Arua. They lost the game by 2-0. Recently, over the weekend, they were also beaten by Alpha Rising Stars, a team that actually finished the first round down in the relegation zone. I think, to me, the hype, the vibe right now, their neighbors have been talking about Pakwati Youngsters should be one of the factors as to why they are not performing very well. Maybe they feel this time it's Pakwati Youngsters that has taken the lion's share of the funds. Maybe the problem will be financial, but to me, I think it is only the vibe, the power of late their neighbors, Pakwati Youngsters, is possessing. But still, I think they have a very big way to fight, because Nyahama is not doing so well. We talk about teams like Padia Rising Stars also not performing very well, the likes of Zeo, and being one of the sides that have stayed in the competition. I think the only thing they will have to do is fight in the remaining games to see that they avoid relegation in terms of maybe finishing on top, maybe top 4, top 2, top 3. I don't think they will not be able to do that one. In summary, for the both zones, I think it will be the first of its kind after 2 to 3 seasons. We are seeing Nakatzo going neck to neck up to the last game. It has been in most cases, we have been witnessing it in Nile Zone, whereby we always decide the overall winner more especially 9 zone. In simple time, the team that finishes on top always in the last game. Last season, it was between Kochi and Naraka. We saw Kochi beat Naraka in the final game to see that they finish on top. But just based on the statistics you have been given, Pakwati youngsters going neck to neck with the Black Angels. The way I'm seeing it may proceed up to the last game.
Another team to talk about is Arua City. They started well, and now it's not what we expected from them. And they already, I think, at number 4 or 5 there. That's where they're lying. And a very big. I did say Arua City has a budget, according to what I know, okay, what I've tried following up, around 70 million per season, which for a regional league team looks a big money to handle in right there, do their travels here and there, but at least you would handle this. If you look at this, what is the problem with Arua City?
Arua City, basically, sorry to say this, but the players, I think, got so much used to the allowances. One thing I want us to look into is that you'll see these boys performing when the allowances are being paid on time. But once the allowances are delayed 2, 3, 4 times, these guys drop in performances and even go on strike. They don't attend trainings and all that. But then you even come to wonder why the allowances are not paid, because this is a budget that is normally approved, I think, before Uber season starts, or halfway if it is approved in the new financial year. But normally we know comes around July and something of that sort. But so basically for Arua City, to me, literally, I think they were one side that we all needed to look at this very season, because one, check through the players Arua City has, all perfect players, matches. The teams are Nepi Central and by the Black Angels collected most of the players that actually featured in last season. But literally, Arua City also came through and added in a lot of good players this time around. And from the break that they had from first round to crossing over to second round, I would say that Arua City equally also added in a few names. One guy they added is called, there is Opi. He is from a side that participated, I think, in the Masaza Cup in Kampala region that crossed over to, there is Arua City, and he featured in the game that actually Arua City played this weekend, where we saw them win 1-0. I don't know if this is a fuel to them to push through in the winning ways and all that. Being in position number 4 is quite not too bad, but then the fight in front of them is too hard. It is too tense to me. I don't see Arua City keeping up to the levels of the fight in the first 3 or the top 3 teams that are ahead of them. Most competition being between there is the Black Angels and there is Pakwachi youngsters. But for Arua City, I literally don't see them having a huge problem. The issue is just very little in that when they sit down and find out, when they sit down to go back to the drawing board and find out where exactly the problem is, trust me, Arua City is good to go. It's not too late for them to push through and jump into the competition of the top 2.
Out of 13 games played, they have won 5, drawn 4, and of course lost 4 right there. And that's one big thing of course scoring and having 2 negative goals and 19 points on that is their that's Arua City for you. Now, of course, it adds into the books of what exactly you as an individual you need to do. It comes back to the players' individual brilliancy. It comes back to you, the coach. Now, a little bit disappointed where you could see 1 or 2, 3 people doing the same duty. One person carrying all those works over him, and of course that is one thing affecting Arua City. The chairman has given every authority to make sure that clubs are this and that, but at last, I want to ask a question: how much probably, and if the budget is around 70 million, but does this money also come promptly? Does it come on time? Because you may say it's 70 million budget, yes. What about the budget being there and it is not given on time? Maybe people are waiting for revenue collections. Maybe they're waiting for the next financial year. After the next financial year, it is given maybe quarterly, but for a club to run consistently, that is it. Now, another thing is that players that play in the regional league need to know that their league is still an amateur league. These issues of salary and this and that, that is not, according to the federation statute, it's not there. They can give you appreciation. So play like nothing to achieve something. And that is one big thing for me. I would say, I know very many would feel bad as players, but it is one thing that we should know. Now, play your best to get into the profession, which is the second tier league and the third tier league, according to Ugandan standard. That's what they call as the professional league, because your contract that you sign becomes a professional contract, and that is what comes in there. So football is one thing that people should understand from where it needs to start, from the development of football to the toppest version. I repeat myself. What we see as football is just this outer glittering surface. But what is in the football, the real football is inside there. A lot of that, if you see that dirty part inside, or when it is cut and hand upside down, that's when you know that this is football. But anyway, I believe Arua City can still change. I was shocked when the CEO that was brought for the new season did not even finish or even see whether the game started. That is how exactly you see. So, but the main signings here are there. So it gives me a challenge and say that this is the time that we need to focus and think about how we should develop football in West Nile. Now, when we leave that there, I would love us to turn our focus away from that and move forward with our top stories are coming up right there. And this comes to now where we saw the Uganda Cup yesterday with the big stories and Chitara FC, where, of course, yet again, emerged champions, winners, because they were at home again against Sports Club Villa. When it was a tight game, first half it ended 0-0. But second half was another one to talk about when, of course, the legendary, talking about Paul Mchirezi, also got into the score sheet for that team, Chitara, right there. Benson, Sports Club Villa, out of the league, and Chitara advances to the next level of the Stanbic Uganda Cup.
So lovely to see the team of Chitara advancing to the quarterfinals, and at the same time, my man Paul Mchirezi getting into the score sheet for the team of Chitara. And here I love comparing things, relating things. This time, Chitara is performing like a goal we have been watching 2 to 3 seasons ago. And at the same time, Leicester City of 2014, 15, 16, they are winning games for fun, both domestically in Startimes Uganda Premier League and also in Stanbic Uganda Cup. We expected them to have knocked out the team of Sports Club Villa, 9 times champions. Yeah, some people might have expected because of the form guide they have right now, but in terms of everything apart from the form guide, I think Sports Club Villa had upper advantage to have knocked out the team of Airtel Chitara. Startimes Uganda Premier League performing extremely very well. We talked about the sister tournament, that's the Stanbic Uganda Cup, also performing very well. I think plus and praise must go to the team of Airtel Chitara. Because each and every time the score it has been there, Omedi.
Yeah.
This time a different person, Paul Mchirezi, not a mere player, but also one of the biggest players by then getting to a score sheet is a good thing.
Yeah, Susie, were you surprised? Were you, anyway, like, this is not?
Chitara this time around, of course, you can put in all your odds up on Chitara anytime they are playing any fixture, be it sometimes Premier League, be it Uganda Cup. We saw a few huge, big clubs, I should say, in Ugandan football being ejected in the levels that went down this weekend. But for Chitara pushing through to the next levels, I think this time around they're one side to watch. There is something that I expected, but then note the number of goals that actually I expected in that game. I thought maybe Chitara was going to come through with a couple of goals, maybe 3, 4, 5, something of that sort. But like they've always gone through, we've always seen them come through with 1 goal or 2, 1 or 2. So basically, it's their turn this time around. There is a Chitara, and they have, by the way, all the luck. Because if you look at all the previous games, be it in UPL, be it in Uganda Cup that they went through, you literally see that they always come through and win by luck. Because if you look at the full 90 minutes of play, you expect them to score at certain points where they don't actually score. And then the goal comes in unexpectedly, and that's how normally the game ends. So long as Omedi comes through and touches the back of the net, trust me, that is it for there is Airtel Chitara. And this time around, I should say, it's a plus for them, the fans and the whole management.
This time around, it wasn't anyway, not Omedi, not any other person, but of course, the former Express player, Zaga, Tumwesije, who was of course the man in Frank Zaga. Tumwesije was the first scorer for that is the team of Chitara, followed by the man by the names of Paul Nchirezi, the legendary, probably right there, playing experience and advancing every time and now to make sure that this gets to the best quality required from a team like Chitara Football Club. Now, if you leave that there was also another big encounter between a Bull Football Club and the team of Express Football Club. In that, you did see the side of Alex Isabili suffering probably again, being ejected out by the Bulls right then. The Bull Football Club were 2-0 winners against the team of Express in that moment in the first round, but later on we did see 4-1 victory for them in full time to see that they get themselves or put themselves right there. Bull advances to that is the next level, so they are already Villa and Express eliminated. Benson, Bull, Chitara, and 5 teams to watch.
For Bull of late, they understand what it means to be in Stanbic Uganda Cup. Because before last season, 2 seasons back to back, we saw them going to the finals. First one they lost it. In fact, the first one they did beat Vipers, reaching to the second season. We saw them overturning the defeat. It was all the last season where we saw Bull not going very far. I think this time I am seeing them going very far, but because of them they have mastered Stanbic Uganda Cup. Express, I think, in Africa we don't sign in every season. That's in football. For Alex Isabire, to me I would say these golden days have gone. I think it's the right time for other people to take over.
I doubt whether Isabire's golden days are gone, but I think it's all about the frustration that is Express. Because you look at him at Bull, he brought Bull where they are. Right now, Bull has never dropped the pace. He went to Viper Sports Club, he still continued, found the right people. Now, of course, Express itself, he put them, that was not the Express before, the center-away coach. And Odochi said that this is what is there. Odochi was the entering. But still, you will see that he streamlined and put the team. We did see him say being in Zaid, by the way. That is the rumor that was going on. Odochi, I think, was in charge of the game yesterday. So, you would see that this is, for me, I believe, he just needs to get a team. Okay, right now his mind is all about the money. Where there's money, he's able to work and perform and give him what he wants, give him the time that he needs in there. That's for me what I'm thinking. Okay, but that is one thing that is right there. You would see that teams are trying really so much to see that they get themselves through away from there and push every day. And now Uganda team, or the Uganda national team, different, the under 20 and then different other sports have gone in for, that is what is called the African Games. Out of that, we did just see a list of today. Uganda under 20 women's team that is also going to Accra. That's the list in front of you there, or your screen probably, seeing what exactly the coach Botes has come up with. A couple of names are probably being summoned into our team, and she will be very glad to see that this team comes back a winner, and according to her statement that she had put forward ahead of that is the games that are probably coming right there. Benson, if you look at some names, you talk about Kamuli Cecilia, who of course is one of the goalkeepers from that is Toro Queens FC. Then you have Kaidu Sharon from that is Uganda Matters. You have Akujo Esther from She Cranes in that goalkeeping, the goalkeepers, 3 of them. Then in the defense line you have Kanyonga Harima, who has been from that is UC Lady Cardinals, and then you have Uja Catherine from that is Reigns SS Women's Football Club. You have Kiberunji Claire, who of course from what is Kawempe Muslim in that defense. Luwasi Lualisa Docas from Ulila. Then you have Akiriora Patricia from Kampala Queens, and not forgetting of course Nankwagala, of course from Nankwagala Shakira from that is Kawempe Muslim. In the midfield you have of course Namuteri Crashmoon from Kawempe Muslims. You have Nalu Cham Shamira from Kampala Queens. You have Nabulime Fiona from that is Kawempe Muslims. You have Najuma Shamusa, who is from that is Uganda Matters, Luwaga. Then you have Nabumbi Sumaya, who is from Isra Soccer Academy. You have Kunihira Margaret, who of course plays for, that is a team called Siesia Queens FC. Then you have Nandende Zaina, who is of course from the Kampala Queens. What about the forwards? Who would you talk about? You have Chiza Immaculate from Shima. She has been a very good player. Saida Kora, Agadia Catherine of Kampala Queens, who doesn't know her. Nalu Juliet, not playing the country, but of course she has been sound. And Nakasi Latifa, who has been right there now. Sherry Portes gets those ladies to go and participate right there. Susie, are we seeing progress for Uganda to come back, maybe win this? Because in Cameroon we did see them eject a Cameroon team, but this time round they say the senior team was ejected, by the way, and now they say this is the time that they need to put Uganda proud.
Basically, how the senior team was ejected in Cameroon was out of a few mistakes. And to me, I think the third goal that came through during that time to see that Cameroon ejected a senior team was out of an injury that the goalkeeper was hit by the very hard. She had even blood oozing in the head, and there was bandage tied up and all that. To me, but I thought that goal needed to be disallowed, but then they allowed the goal and all that. So basically, that wasn't something huge, because down here when the Cameroon side came to Uganda, we saw how our girls beat them thoroughly. So this time around, but for this team to cross through, during that time around, they weren't yet still under Cheryl Abotes, and this time around, Cheryl Abotes has, by the way, put in a lot of effort in the girls, and the squad that he has come up with, to me, I think it's a very concrete squad. We've seen them basically take part in a few friendlies or play amongst themselves here and there. And I would like to say that this team, by the way, we should all get in the courage that they will basically move far. Because look at our squad that was just on our screens that went right through and all that. So basically, to me, I have some bit of trust in this team, and a lot of trust in that is assuring about us in putting through this whole squad that has come through to go into the various competitions.
Now, of course, that's not the only Benson. We are not only going to be represented by the football bit of it, it's only the other.
Yeah, exactly. Cricket players and also Victoria Pals. Cricket players, you know that we are, when we talk about cricket players, you should know that we are talking about actually the senior national team of Uganda, and then the sister club is called Victoria Pals, and they also taking part in the tournament called African Games. We have ladies football, we have got boys football, the Hippos are the ones that are going to represent us in men's football. I think we have in around the 3 to 4 national teams of Uganda. I think out of those 4 areas, one will succeed. But I am putting my bet on the cricket players and Victoria Pals, because of late, cricket department, T20, they have been performing extremely very well. The way I see it, if the cricket players, they cannot go ahead, Victoria Pals may go. Meanwhile, on the other side, we have got the under 20 women national team of Uganda and also the Hippos. On the other side, if the ladies disappoint us, we also pray that the men, of course, we have to make us proud. Oh, well, one thing we should know is Uganda has been put in a tense group alongside countries like Senegal. We talk about our neighbors in South Sudan, not forgetting about Nigeria. Why am I saying so? We all remember under 20 African Cup of Nations last season, where Uganda beat Senegal in one of the group stages. Written in the quarterfinals, it was Nigeria that beat Uganda, that knocked out Uganda. And then written in the final, it was Senegal that beat Nigeria in the final. Now you see this contradiction. The 3 countries again being picked in the same group. I don't know what will happen.
Now, of course, as we talk, yes, there was set yesterday, a very big one, the cricket team was set, and the debut they will probably be making in there now. But Accra, Ghana is where the team has gone and is where they landed. And of course, a couple of different sports sectors, of course, personalities came around. You look at names like Engineer Moses Magogo, who came through. You did see Ogwan coming through. You did see Peter Ogwal coming through. So all the sports ministers and the sports people came through to say that they really needed to push this team to the progress right there. Now, CAF Champions League advances again to, that is the quarters. It's one big thing that we shall be talking about right there. But our time is running though now. Let's look just at this, as of course there is Masindo Onyango feels he's going to be one of the names to chill. But teams that are left include, of course, Tanzania is the only country in East Africa with the two teams in the quarterfinals of the CAF Champions League. Now, Al Ahly is one team. Then there's Mimosas of Cameroon. You have Petro Rwanda. You have Young Africans of that is Tanzania, and Simba Sports Club of Tanzania. Sundown Mamelodi of South Africa. TP Mazembe of course, Congo, and the Tunisia side. Esperance is another team right there. Benson, who is winning?
Esperance is one of the biggest sides. Al Ahly, they are the reigning champions, and at the same time the record holders. Yanga, the other time we went very far. We want to beat Simba. Simba FC from Tanzania, we want to test the salt for the first time. Jana Galaxy, that knocked our side. Vipers, nowhere to be seen. And also ironically, Wydad Casablanca consecutively. Twice they have been into the finals. This time they cannot go into the knockout stages. As you are saying, we are only left with some few minutes for us to summarize everything. I think we can continue with the other stories.
Yeah, internationally, of course, yesterday, Susie, Manchester United suffered into the hands of Man City. A very tight, interesting game. Of course, United took the lead in the half-time, but of course, second half was totally different, and a distraction to that is Erik ten Hag's Manchester United. The Red Devils put it composed and only had one shot on target in there. But of course, in the second half, you wouldn't see them getting their total percent. You would see first half with 17 corner kicks for that is Team Man City. It showed how the pressing was very hard and intense. United, what's wrong?
For me, the biggest, the first half, by the way, Ten Hag played first half so well together with his boys. To me, that was a very complete. But then when we get to second half, the biggest mistake that Ten Hag made for me was there is a substituting Rashford. To me, he needed to pull out Garnacho because if you look at how Rashford outplayed, there is Walker over Manchester City. You literally see that but so long as the ball was passed to there is a Walker, he couldn't go past there is a Rashford. So Rashford played so well, but to me, he needed to leave Rashford there and instead pull out Garnacho. That is basically where, for me, the bad times over Manchester United started in the game that saw them concede all the other balls that came through.
Yeah, Benson, if you look at what happened yesterday, for me, I would see tactically that, yes, he went with a false number 9 who was Scott McTominay, but still I didn't see the impact so much. First half, yes, they tried containing, but second half wasn't really into the play. What could have, maybe, what would have Ten Hag done to make sure that he contains the second half?
Just based on the statistics you have just given and what transpired yesterday, even Manchester City too was a better side compared to Manchester United. And the one player I will continue to praise when it comes to playing against big opponents is Rashford. Rashford, even if it is Liverpool, even if it is Chelsea, Arsenal, this guy will always continue to sign. And in the recent years, the derbies Manchester United have been winning. In fact, whenever you see Manchester United picking a win against the team of Manchester City, in most cases, it is always the influence of Marcus Rashford. And to me, I want to blame Manchester United too much, the coach himself, Erik ten Hag, because you look at the whole team of Manchester United, average players are there, and the biggest of it is so many casualties, the injuries, the players, they are having out injured and having so many corner kicks, and so many attempts. You combine shot on target and those ones off target. Truly, because Liverpool had already won their game. Arsenal is playing a team which they can beat easily. The pressure was on Manchester City, and the money is scoring fast. I think Manchester City, I expected them to have run riot over their rivals at the end. So I'm not shocked.
Okay, that was a nice one, but I think United needs to do one thing. One of them is that they don't have style of play as Erik ten Hag. Two, even mere play, they don't have a style of play now. They are too basic, too casual, that you would see even into the Manchester United that this team is going to be beaten. Three, they rely on individual players. You would see that if so-and-so is not there, not going to be, maybe the team won't perform. But we have seen Liverpool without their star players performing. And we've seen Man City getting the young boys, getting into the play. Arsenal the same. So I think Erik ten Hag needs to do that and make sure that he needs to get a style of play. But for how long will you look for a style of play? Because players are not delivering. Every player at Manchester United today is good, tomorrow is not good. So there's something that needs to be worked upon, I think, and I believe that would be one thing that could be pushing in there. With that, I want to say we come to the end of this show because our time is really off in there, but we'll be coming back again tomorrow to give